Welcome to the Brash Sports Podcast, brought to you by Bag Fries. The fries you find at the bottom of your greasy paper bag after a trip to the local fast food joint. Bag Fries. When your fat ass finishes a 2,100 calorie meal but need a couple extra bites of salty, starchy goodness, we've got you covered. Try Bag Fries today and use promo code BRASH to save 20%. I'm Josh. I'm joined here by my best friend, Brandon. Brandon, we got a lot to talk about, man.
Hey, buddy.
Let's get into it.
Thanks
What's
for joining
going
me, man. And again, a special thanks to Bag Fries. Without them, this would have never happened.
This whole thing wouldn't be possible.
No, we need our friends at Bag Fries. So
yeah. So, dude, we got a lot to unpack. It's Super Bowl week. We got the Super Bowl this weekend. So naturally, we got to talk about the Pro Bowl. I've been dying to talk about the Pro Bowl.
Everybody wants to hear about the Pro Bowl. They can't get enough about the Pro Bowl. The thing about the Pro Bowl is that I never miss a second of it. And by never miss a second, I mean I don't watch a single second of it. Pro Bowl hasn't been entertaining for me probably in about 15 years.
Yeah, that's probably about right.
I mean, that's when they actually used to play the game, but now it's become...
Right. Two-hand touch.
It's become pretty pathetic. So, I'd like to think or get your thoughts on what you think they should do if you had full control of the Pro Bowl, and we could just change it up. How could we make it entertaining, or without just wiping it clean and getting rid of the damn thing altogether?
I mean, I think the most important thing would be to get it to actually mean something. Like in baseball, the All-Star game, the winner gets home field advantage in the World Series. Stuff like that helps tremendously. Because if it's meaningless and the players show up and they don't give a shit and they're not playing hard at all, like what's the point, right? And I don't think anyone's going to watch until the game actually means something. Don't you think?
Well, yeah, and one way to make it mean something would be to scrap the voting bullshit. Let's just give it to those that actually deserve it. Whoever produced the best throughout the season, those are the people that make it in. Just get rid of the voting altogether. Get the best players of that particular season involved. But in terms of giving the players something, I mean, what are you going to give them, Josh? You going to pay them to go to the Pro Bowl?
I don't know. Well, a lot of them have like in their contracts, right? Like if you make a Pro Bowl, you earn a certain bonus. But no, I don't know. I'm an idiot. I don't have any ideas on what to do. But I think until it means something, players aren't going to play hard, and therefore people aren't going to watch. Now, what I will say is that the skills competition, awesome. I'm all about the skills competitions, but I didn't watch live. I've just been watching the replays, and it's sick. Like, it's always been my favorite part, but
it should just
I really hope they don't get rid of that.
It should be one big skills competition. And
no game?
No game at all, and if you're going to, I was thinking about the game. If you're going to do a game, because again, it's not a game. We can call it a game all we want, but it's not a game. They don't give a shit. And, they're not going to go full contact for a silly exhibition. It has less meaning than a preseason game. So,
right.
What if maybe if they wanted to have some sort of game, and hear me out, they split up and have two NFC teams, two AFC teams, and have a little flag football competition. You know? And it's like a short little tournament,
Yeah, no, I actually love that idea. I would take it a step further. And remember a few years ago, they used to do like a draft where it was like playground rules, right? You have captains and then they pick whoever. I think you break that into 4. You do like 7-on-7 flag football on a smaller field, have like a small round robin tournament with 5-minute quarters or something. And I think that would be way more entertaining than just like trotting people out and pretending they're actually playing a real game, because that's bullshit. They don't care. Nobody cares. I think there'd be some interest in, who's going to draft who? Like the other night was the NBA All-Star draft. And it was interesting. I tuned in just to see like who would LeBron want on his team, who would Kyrie want, or who would Durant want on his team, right?
And they've done that before, right? In the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, they used to do that.
Yeah.
For the NFL Pro Bowl, but I think you take it a step further and you have two captains on each conference. They draft 4 teams total, and then you do a small round robin tournament, like I said, with either 2 10-minute halves or 4 5-minute quarters, just to make it interesting, or even like first to fucking 21 or something. I don't know.
All right.
Smaller field, obviously, 7v7. Flag, though, like if you're not going to tackle, at least make people rip a flag off.
Yeah, no, and that would be, I would find that more entertaining than the product that they're putting out there now.
Yeah, they're playing 2-hand touch as it is. Like, step it up. Let's get some flags out there.
So basically, what we've determined is skills competition, thumbs up.
Yes.
Game, get rid of it. There's no need for a Pro Bowl game.
Did you see the it was like the best catch competition? It's a new thing that I don't remember them having a few years ago. Where they have wide receivers go out and they almost treat it like a dunk contest, where they're like, throw the ball up here and I'm going to like make a one-handed grab or whatever. Fucking Trayvon Diggs won that shit this year.
Yeah,
our cornerback. He's insane.
I that's my problem. I had no interest whatsoever, so I didn't catch any of it. But
I maybe, just saw the highlights. But.
Maybe they start taking our ideas, though. Things will change, and it'll become more entertaining, and then I'll actually tune in.
I've been calling Goodell. He stopped picking up my calls. I don't know what I did. I burned a bridge.
Well,
he's pissed at me.
That's probably why he didn't pick up my call to be our first guest for our first podcast. That guy, I'll tell you, he's harder to get in touch with than the president, and he's kind of a dick too.
Well, he's a shitty commissioner, but he's still the guy. I don't think he'll be the guy for that much longer, though.
I shot him a text. And then, but then when I looked at it again, because I didn't get a response, I realized, I accidentally texted Bill Belichick. And then, and I apologized, of course. But he said, hey, I know how it goes. Sometimes that happens.
Yeah. Sometimes you send the text to the wrong person. Will be made.
So, but speaking of which, we all know about the Bill Belichick texting situation that led to the class action lawsuit that's going on right now. Brian Flores, he's attempting something that I think is dead on arrival, in my opinion. It's a touchy subject, but how would you prove in a court of law these accusations that are being made? I mean, what if you're the attorney?
From Brian Flores' standpoint?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, so prosecution. I don't think you can, man. You can't say like, oh, well, I'm a more qualified head coach than that person, because it's all subjective. You can look at the track record of the NFL and say, okay, there is a wildly disproportionate amount of white coaches versus black coaches. Sure.
That's, it goes without saying it.
But does that mean that every white coach that was hired over a black coach was solely due to race? Like, I find it hard to believe that any owners would say, yeah, man, hell of a coach. I think he's our guy. It's too bad he's black. Let's move on to some white people. Like, I can't picture anybody saying that. That doesn't mean it's not happening, but
no. I mean,
how can you prove it? And does it make sense? I don't think so.
That's the problem. I mean, you have a glaring issue. We all know it's there. It's the elephant in the room. Yep. They've tried to find different ways to address it and correct it. Of course, you all know about the Rooney Rule, and
love the Rooney Rule.
The Rooney Rule, man. I mean, I understand. It means well, but
of course,
unfortunately, we find ourselves in situations like this where you'll have qualified head coaching candidates that are basically being used to check a box. And I mean, we kind of should have saw this coming when the rule was introduced to begin with.
Everybody who knew anything about the process knew that this was going to happen and it would backfire. And now we're just seeing it come to light.
So, unfortunately for Brian, hey, I wish him all the luck. because I think it's
I
time
think he's a hell of a
someone
health
does.
kicker.
Yes, someone's got to get one over on the NFL at some point, right? So all the power to him.
Sure.
But unfortunately, my prediction with that is that it's not going to go anywhere. I think that one's just going to fall flat, and by this time next year, nobody will even remember that this happened.
Well, I think they're going to settle with a shit ton of cash, and I think that they're going to probably impose similar Rooney Rule type rules, and it's just not going to. It's going to be the same thing over and over. I think the number one thing that can happen with NFL owners being racist, if they are, is that the racist ones are probably very old and they're going to die soon. And that's the number one thing we can do to combat racism is just wait for them to die.
That's the best strategy against racism.
That's the best strategy. You just got to, unfortunately, man, like it's also like, I hate saying
heals
that.
all wounds, especially when
I hate saying that, but
to killing the racists.
Oh, yeah. I mean, zero sympathy. If there's actually NFL owners that are saying, well, I'd love to hire Brian Flores if only he were white.
Yeah.
That person should die. I would feel zero sympathy toward him.
Well, one of the people in the lawsuit, I believe, were the Houston Texans, right?
Are they?
And I thought that they were part of it. Maybe I'm wrong on that.
I don't think so. I mean, I know obviously the Dolphins are in there because the owner was allegedly bribing Brian Flores to $100,000 per game that he lost or something.
And then he went on like a 7 or 8 game tear,
Hell yeah. Dude,
Brian Flores is,
right. Brian Flores is awesome, by the way. Like, he's an awesome coach. If I were an owner, I'd hire him in a second.
It really
with what he did with that franchise.
And remember, I texted you when I got the news that he was fired, and I said, "Man, I think the Giants are gonna go after him. I thought he'd be a great fit for you guys." And ironically, the Giants ended up being the final straw.
You, me, and Bill Belichick all thought the same thing.
Oh, poor Bill. I'm telling you, man. It's just
poor old man.
Add that last initial after the first name.
Yeah.
It does wonders.
Dude, I also think there might be something underhanded. I know we talked briefly about this. We're not on the same page. I think he might be doing something underhanded with that. I think he's so detail oriented. He is the most prepared coach for every situation. I find it so hard to believe that he was just like, oops, wrong Brian, LOL. Like, I don't think that.
Yeah, and it's an interesting conspiracy theory. But
it's totally, and it's like that's like 1% chance that that's what's going on. But I still want to cling to that 1%.
That guy, he's the most boring person in the NFL, and I think the last thing he would want to do is put himself smack dab in the middle of all of this drama. Why would he want to do that?
Well, because it's not really putting himself in the middle. He's just like wiping his hands clean and walking away after he sends the text. I mean, he's not. His fallback is, I'm an old man. I don't know what's text messaging.
I just don't think there's any positive for him. He doesn't get anything out of it. And I know you've told me that you believe he just likes to see the shit hit the fan. It's how he gets his kicks, the sick son of a bitch.
Yeah, well, if he joins the show later, we'll have to ask him about it.
That's right. But, hold on. Our producer Anderson, he's telling me that we have some bad news.
No,
bad news. We were planning on trying to get Bill, so we could, kind of get to the bottom of this. Maybe poke around that conspiracy theory that Josh is addressing, but unfortunately, he's decided that today's just not a good day for an interview, so he will not be joining us as well.
Tell Anderson. Try next week. We're going to try again. We're going to get Bill on the phone. Yeah, if you could just.
Yep. Anderson says Perfect. He's going to try to make it happen. So he's,
Thank God.
Anderson, our producer, everyone,
One of the best in the biz.
he has been working his tail off to, I mean, he's the one that found bag fries, and
yeah, he got us to deal with bag fries.
He's the one, he puts the butts in the damn seats. And, without that guy, again, we also would not be here entertaining you today. So a big thanks to our producer, Anderson.
Yeah, big shout out. Big shout out.
Now, what did you want to touch on, Josh?
I don't know. I mean, just the Flores thing. There's so many layers, and I think we're just going to have to, like an onion, they're just going to keep peeling and peeling, and eventually find out some more. But I don't think there's really anything else to touch on now. Like, the Giants aren't racist. We had Jerry Reese was our GM for like 10 years. Like, you don't just have a black GM if you're racist. Like, I think the Dolphins owner is a fucking idiot. I don't know if he's racist or not.
It is funny,
Saints,
though. I mean,
think we're in there.
Again, you can't say the whole organization is racist, because it comes down to the guy hiring. But I heard that the Giants are one of like the only teams in the NFL to never have a black head coach. Is that right?
Yeah, that's true.
I'm putting you on the spot, motherfucker.
No, it's true. But we had a Jerry Reese got us 2 Super Bowls. We had 10 years. He followed up Ernie Accorsi, who's probably the greatest GM in the history of the Giants. So I don't know. There's never been a single mention of anything racist by anybody in that organization. And then all of a sudden, Brian Flores doesn't get a job and the Giants are racist because we've never hired a black coach. That's crazy.
There was one quick thing, and then we can jump topics here.
Okay.
But, tell me what you think about this statement. I saw this when Lovie Smith was hired, and then maybe that's where I got the Texans in my head.
Yeah.
But, so Lovie Smith, Flores and his attorneys decided to come out with a statement, apparently, after Lovie's hiring. And which, by the way, I Lovie the hiring. I think it's a great choice. But here's what we got here. It says a statement from the attorneys of Brian Flores. Mr. Flores is happy to hear that the Texans have hired a black head coach, Lovie Smith, as Mr. Flores' goal in bringing his case is to provide real opportunities for black and minority candidates to be considered for coaching and executive positions within the NFL. However, we would be remiss not to mention that Mr. Flores was one of 3 finalists for the Texans head coach. How the hell does he know if he's a finalist? And he's after a great interview and mutual interest, it is obvious that the only reason Mr. Flores was not selected was his decision to stand up against racial inequality across the NFL. I mean,
that's crazy.
You're making yourself look silly, and you're throwing Lovie Smith under the bus at the same time. I don't understand the reason for releasing that comment. What's the purpose of that?
In fact, I would think that hiring Brian Flores would have the opposite effect, right? If I were running a franchise and I had an opportunity to bring in a great coach and then literally prove to the world, like, I'm hiring only on merit and nothing else. I don't care that this guy's suing the NFL, right? We're so not racist that we're hiring a guy who's saying everyone's racist. Like, I think it would be a huge opportunity to bring him in after he filed the lawsuit, unless there's behind the scenes, all the owners got together and said, dude, fuck this guy, never give him a job, which probably is happening.
And did you again, real quick, did you see the Dolphins did sign a head coach? Did you see who they ended up replacing Flores with?
Yeah, some guy.
Mike McDaniel. I'm not really familiar with Mike McDaniel.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I saw the name. I don't know his
Excuse me, but well, it's interesting you bring up his background because he released a statement today saying that he is biracial. And look up a picture of this gentleman.
He has the whitest name of all time.
He's got the whitest name, and he is the whitest biracial man I've ever seen in my life. So I was surprised.
This guy's not.
I was surprised to hear that. Maybe it was another Mike McDaniel that works for the Dolphins, but everybody can have their own opinion. But You know,
There's
I'm
no
calling
way.
bullshit on this guy. Is what I'm doing.
Oh, he's so full of shit, dude. He's dude. He's whiter than near you, and we're so white.
Yeah, he's like the people that say they have 3% Blackfoot Indian in them. You know, it's like,
Oh,
prove
what's her
it.
name?
All right. Oh yeah,
Warren. Oh my God, why can't I think of her name? Senator Warren. One
yeah.
thousandth of
But
a percent.
unfortunately, she's one of many white people that like to claim the Native American heritage. But
Yeah, her and Mike McDaniel. Apparently, I'm trying to find out more about this guy.
So speaking of Native Americans,
Oh, no.
there's a new team in the NFL. Have you heard?
What a segue!
I mean, it's a new franchise, but the franchise is also 90 years old. So they're new, but not so new. And
Yeah.
my backdrop kind of tells a story right here. I am a lifelong Washington
Chiefs
Redskins. Yeah, I'm a Chiefs fan. Seriously, I am a Redskins fan, and R.I.P. The Redskins are no more, and I know that happened a couple years ago with the Washington football team. But I'll tell you what, I believe that the Washington football team was a hell of a better option than what they're going with now.
1000%.
Bring in the Washington Commanders. Officially the longest name out of any team in the NFL, and
Is it really?
And the most boring. It's just boring as all hell, dude. I don't know what to make of this. It's and I can't call them that. You know, I mean, I'm not going to be one of those guys that I'm never going to stop calling them the Redskins, but I might, like I've told you before, I might call them the team formerly known as the Redskins.
Well, I think if they win, people will jump on board with anything. You know what I mean?
That's all it takes.
That's all it takes.
Here's what I will say. I'll probably end up, of course, saying the Commanders. Yes.
Sure.
Because I'm always going to be a fan of the team. I can't help it. It's a sickness with me, as you know. Yep. But again, it's just it's very painful. And until they win a Super Bowl, I'm not going to buy any more merchandise from that franchise. And, I got closets full, so I have my fair share. Unfortunately, it doesn't share the same name as what the team's going to refer to themselves as now. So,
dude, they look like an XFL team. Those uniforms,
everything about it, it's it's worse than XFL. It's the USFL. And which apparently
shit on the USFL, yes.
Which apparently they actually did pick a name that was used by a USFL team.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
San Antonio Commanders, I think it is, if I'm getting my city there right. But anyway, I had to bring it up. It's just been. So,
what were the finalists?
The three finalists. This came out after it was official that they were named the Commanders. Yeah. Apparently it came down to Red Wolves, Commanders, and Washington Football Club.
Yeah.
Excuse me. DC Football Club.
Yeah.
So
that's the one. They fucked up so bad.
So they crossed off Red Wolves. That was a heavy favorite, at least, of course, in the Twitterverse for Redskins fans, because it was an easy transition. You can make a badass logo from a wolf. Come on.
Of course.
And, Red Wolf also just sounds cool. I mean, Commanders just sounds like a peewee soccer team, and that they let the 8-year-olds name themselves. And apparently the DC Football Club, which, real quick, the reason they couldn't go with that is because there is a Detroit soccer team that is DCFC. So they couldn't trademark that. So apparently, Dan Snyder, one of the richest people in the country, can't figure out trademarking, license. He that's where he draws the line on the budget.
Dude, it's a miracle that guy made as much money as he did in his life, because he's such a fucking idiot. Like, how does that retard get?
He's a loser. That's why this team has been losing ever since he took over.
Dude,
He's one big loser.
How did he make so much money? He's so dumb. Yeah, obviously, I'm totally impartial when it comes to the name of
Oh yeah. I don't
the
expect you
team
to
formerly
care.
known as the Washington Redskins, but
I expect you to
like,
laugh at it
I,
as well.
I
You should,
dude. I loved the Washington football team. I thought that was a great name. I thought it was a big fu to like PC culture. Like, oh, okay, we can't have a name. We're just going to name ourselves the Washington football team. That way, you can't find any flaws. Like, give it 10 years, maybe 20 years. Someone's going to find a fucking issue with Commanders. They're going to find an issue with Giants and Texans and Seahawks.
Oh, they
Like,
already did. They're saying, oh well, the Commanders, aren't those the ones that wiped out the Indians? It's like, you son of a bitch, really? We haven't even played a game as the Commanders yet. You're already giving us shit.
They're just picking on your team. Like, nobody's going after the Chiefs, but the Commanders already just making waves.
Washington football team was fine. We had already gotten used to it.
I liked it.
2 years in, I could deal with that. And, but Dan Snyder being the piece of shit that he is, we also know as Skins fans that the only reason he did that is because it's a money grab. Anytime you rebrand, it's an opportunity to sell more merchandise, and and he pulled the trigger on it. So no pun intended for the Commanders. But
I know, but he's not, dude. Think long term. Nobody is going to want to represent this team long term. I'm sorry. They look made up. They look like all the football teams that are in movies, like bad movies, where they have to make fake names because they can't license names from the NFL. Like, they just look they look made up. They look like, the name and design looks like an 8-year-old.
I can't argue it. I despise it. I'm not happy. No one in my family likes it, and we are all lifelong Redskins fans. So again, you gotta turn the page and move forward. And again, if they win, it'll make it a lot easier to deal with. So.
For sure. No, if winning solves everything in sports. Like, it just solves everything. So yeah, the Commanders will be a hit if they can get a Super Bowl in the next 5 years.
Well, they gotta give Taylor Heineke that 5-year contract extension. I mean, what are they waiting for? Let's do it already.
Well, now that Tom Brady retired, Heineke's value went way down.
Well, that reminds me. There are some quarterbacks that could have new homes this upcoming season.
That's true. Dude, you're master of the segue today.
Hey, didn't you? What are you going to say, man? I put a little list together of the top 4. We could throw in a 5th one that I thought of that's just not as interesting at all.
But there's probably about 4 or 5 serious.
I'm talking about the franchise guy. We love saying franchise quarterback. That's what it's all about. So we got, of course, the weirdo Aaron Rodgers, Marv, Derek Carr, the quickness in Murray, and of course, and Russell Wilson. I thought it'd be fun just with those 4 guys. Kirk Cousins was the other one. Apparently, he might be on the move, but who gives a shit? I mean,
Yeah, I saw that. There's 2 guys that I think you're leaving off that list.
Who would you add to it?
Jimmy G.
Oh, okay, franchise guy. I know. I'm such a Jimmy G hater. I hate using that term, but I'm a Jimmy G hater.
I think that there's enough people that think he's a franchise guy that you got to lump him in. Like, someone's going to make a move for him this year that's got a decent team, thinking he's going to be our guy that can lead us into the playoffs.
Well, hey, the way this offseason's going so far for the Redskins, I know it's not officially the Washington Commanders. I wouldn't be surprised if they end up being the ones that, sell the farm to bring him to DC. So
couldn't you just see him in a Commanders uniform?
Well, absolutely. It's so fitting.
It's so fitting.
So, all right. So Jimmy G, what was the other one you said?
I didn't. Deshaun Watson.
Oh my God! Yeah, that's right. Deshaun's definitely going somewhere. All right. Well,
If,
All
if it's not jail, then yeah.
right. Well, that's just it. I think they're kind of waiting to see how that all plays out. I don't know where that stands right now in terms of the
Yeah,
legal
I
side. I
no
think
clue.
they're going to bring that to court in 2032 when it's nice and fresh in everyone's mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't heard any movement on that.
All right.
So really,
Yeah, I,
let's pretend Watson just isn't in the NFL because realistically, right now he's not. Right? I mean, the guy he hasn't played in
correct.
a season. He has legal issues, and the legal issues are very sensitive matter. Nobody wants to come within 100 feet of that. So,
Oh, I
you know,
wouldn't. No.
until he crosses that hurdle, he is completely irrelevant. But
Yeah. So
when we talk about Aaron Rodgers, what do you think the future holds for that
okay.
guy?
I was gonna say run that list by me again. My first thought on Rodgers was like even before the season, with all the drama they had going on, and I knew Big Ben was at the end. I was like, this is Big Ben's last year. He's going to retire. Rodgers is going to Pittsburgh. I can just picture Aaron Rodgers in a Steelers jersey. And they've got a decent team. He could go there and win. I liked that a lot. But now I don't see it as much. So updated, obviously the favorite pick is Denver because they got the offensive coordinator from the Packers. Um, and I could see that too. Like that's just what Denver does. They put a great roster together
Yeah.
and then they sign a Hall of Fame quarterback to lead them to a Super Bowl. I mean,
Yep.
good for them. What a model.
Absolutely. No, that
What
it
a
works.
model.
It's a
It
proven
works.
model.
It's a proven
Um,
model.
so yeah, I mean, really, with this guy, it comes down to three teams that I see him
Oh,
playing for next year, and of course, Denver, as you mentioned, with
yeah.
the offensive coordinator signing. The Titans were a dark horse that was thrown in
Yeah.
because
He's
apparently
building a house there.
he is building a house. He's building a
Yeah.
ranch. That guy, he
Sneaky.
bought like 600 acres or some shit.
Yeah.
I might be overselling that, but he bought a lot of property in the Tennessee area. So
Yeah.
that could just be a nice vacation spot, but that's definitely something to look at. And the Titans, man, talk about
Oh,
that Aaron Rodgers away from making it to a Super Bowl.
instant Super
But
Bowl.
if I had to put money on it, he's not going anywhere. Okay,
Yeah.
he's staying in Green Bay. He's just being a whiny little bitch right now. Even though he has plenty to be thankful for. I think they got a great head coach in Green Bay. They have one of the best wide receivers of this generation in Devontae Adams,
Oh, he's
and
so
they
good.
had a top 10 defense last year.
Yeah.
So it would just be so stupid. And not to mention, the Packers fan base is one of the most loyal fan bases in the NFL. So, who doesn't want to play in Lambeau?
Well, and also, who doesn't want to play against Detroit twice, the Bears twice, and the Vikings twice? Like, if you
Yeah,
go to Denver, you got to play the Chiefs twice, the Raiders twice, and the Chargers twice. Like,
it,
that's
it,
brutal.
it
The
makes no
Chargers are the
sense.
best team to miss the playoffs. Like,
So
they're
they
legit.
players like to say all the time, NFL is a business. Well, as a businessman, it makes no sense at all for Aaron Rodgers to go anywhere. So he's going back to Green Bay, no questions asked, and
Yeah, and
he's
I think it's very telling on Jordan Love that Green Bay hasn't dumped him already. Like, I think if Jordan Love was good, they would have sent Aaron Rodgers for 1,000,000 picks already.
yeah, I suppose maybe they're still
Jordan
grooming
Love
him.
is
It's a slow
trash.
groom. All
Jordan
right,
Love is trash. That's all
now
I'm saying.
with Derek Carr, I think he's going somewhere. I don't see
Really?
him in a Raiders outfit next year. I really don't.
Why?
I just because they with the new head coach, they might want to make a splash, and they could really get a lot more in return for this guy. I think his stock has never been higher than what it is right now, especially if
Yeah,
you trade him to a stupid organization like the Washington Commanders. They give you way too much.
they
You
would.
could really start fresh. You could get a ton of draft picks. Maybe sneak two quality players on the defensive side of the ball.
Don't you think he's worth it though? Like, I think Derek Carr is way underrated. I think he's
So
really fucking good.
so here's what I was thinking with this.
Okay.
Now, Russell Wilson's also making a stink, you know. Not that Derek Carr has. He's just been as part of the conversation. He actually doesn't say much, you know. He's a very
I
quiet
haven't
guy.
heard anything about Derek Carr leaving. So this is,
No.
I think you're breaking news right now.
Well, listen, hear me out. So,
Okay.
you know, Russell Wilson you've heard, of course, Russell Wilson, you know, he's just doing weird things and, you know, always kind of insinuating he doesn't know where he's going to be and all that.
Yeah.
What if the Raiders and the Seahawks just made a nice, clean swap? Huh?
Really?
I think that'd be the best way to go. I would entertain that. I mean, personally, I'd rather have Russell Wilson on my team.
Oh,
You
I
know?
would definitely rather have Russ, but I don't think that's a huge upgrade for him. Like, I think Derek Carr is on the list. Like, Russ is just outside top 5. Derek Carr is probably just inside top 10. Like, I don't have a definitive power ranking of quarterbacks in front of me, but that's kind of my
What are you
gut.
talking about? You didn't get the damn list I sent you? That's it.
I just don't think, I don't know. I can't picture that. I can't picture that at all. Especially because like Seattle would be getting a really good quarterback. That's not what they need. Like their defense, it has fallen into the abyss. Their O-line is fucking awful. They've got DK Metcalf, who's really their only good skills position player who can stay healthy. I don't know.
For me,
I think
it's
they've got way more bigger issues, and they're not going to get anything for Russ if they trade him to the Raiders because they're
yeah.
getting
Well,
back Carr, and Carr is legit.
I just think they would be, you know, maybe best for both of them just to have a little change of scenery, you know, and start fresh because they're both quality quarterbacks.
They are.
There's a quality, you know, top wide receiver on each one of those teams. Um,
Wow.
and DK Metcalf and Renfro. Um,
Yeah.
and so, you know, the last one, Kyler Murray. This one's interesting because I didn't know there was anything going on there up until recently. Apparently, he did
He
what
deleted the.
he did what all 13-year-olds do when they get upset about something, and he wiped his social media clean of it. He said, "That is it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be a man and say something. I'm going to show it on social media like a normal child does."
Yeah, I hated that move. When I heard that headline, I was like, "Oh, dude, grow the fuck up."
Again, it makes no sense to me. To me, it came out of nowhere. Frankly,
Totally out of nowhere.
I think the Cardinals are headed in the right direction. They don't look like a organization that's in shambles.
Of course they are.
I mean, they started out 7-2, I believe, or something like that. Yeah, so you know they were having a pretty good run there, and then things took a turn, but it happens.
Yeah, he's really young, and he lost in the playoffs. Shocker. Like, dude, they're a really good team. If they were in any other division other than the NFC West, which is the hardest division to play in football, dude, the Cardinals would be front runners in any other division in the NFC.
And he's only been in the league for like 2 years, right?
Yeah, that was his second full year.
Yeah. So you can't pull this shit when you're only in the league for 2 years.
Third.
Okay, well, even so, I mean, he's jumping the gun a bit. If he's talking about wanting a new contract or wanting to be traded, you got to earn your keep before you start pulling shit like this. You can't just say, I'm upset. No, we're not going to make you happy. I mean, if I'm the Cardinals, I'm going to let him pout, and I'm, I'm going to make my plans that he's going to be the quarterback starting next season. I'm not even going to entertain this bullshit. If I'm the Cardinals.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think they're going to pay him. I think that's what's going to end up happening is they're going to give him like the rookie supermax extension or whatever. And I think he deserves it. Like, I think he plays really well. And I think in that division, you need a playmaking quarterback. You need a guy who can scramble around Aaron Donald and Nick Bosa. I think you need someone who can make plays just to keep your score climbing because you're playing against teams that put up a lot of points. Like, I don't know. I think they'd be stupid not to pay him. I'm a big Kyler Murray fan. I think he's got a lot of potential.
Well, so there you go. And
but I totally agree with you. When I saw, oh, I'm gonna delete my MySpace and then everybody's gonna come crawling back to me. Like, dude, get a fucking grip. You are a quarterback for an NFL franchise,
so
dude.
so
Grow the fuck up.
in a nutshell, with our potential quarterbacks on the move segment, we got Rodgers playing for the Packers, Carr playing for the Raiders, Murray playing for the Cardinals, and Wilson playing for the Seahawks, and Deshaun Watson going to jail. All right, you know what it's time for.
No, hold on. Jimmy G to the Commanders. We like that
Jimmy
one.
G
That's
to
a
the
move.
Commanders. I keep blanking that out. I don't want it to be true, even though I
also don't. I also never got to weigh in on Russ leaving. I think there's a decent chance Russ could leave. I just don't think it'll be to the Raiders for Derek Carr. Like,
okay,
I could see him moving on from Seattle.
It's
less
so
than I did
hard
a year
to find
ago.
a quarterback. It is so hard to find a quarterback. Trust me, as a Washington Commanders fan,
Yeah.
it is very difficult to land that guy. And if you have Russell Wilson on your payroll, you're not getting rid of that guy unless he retires from the game. That's the only excuse. So, frankly, the Seahawks would be complete morons to try to move him. There's no upgrade potential there. But again, that just is maybe because I'm just a huge Russell Wilson fan, and there's a reason I'm not operating an NFL team.
I could see him in a different uniform. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Well,
I think Sierra behind the scenes has a little something to do with it. I think she's sick of Seattle.
Well, according to Anderson, he thinks that he's heard some whispers that Josh, you may be right, that Wilson may be on the move, but he's also saying, Anderson's also telling me that you are having this hope because deep down you're hoping that it's the New York Football Giants that landed Russell Wilson. So
that's an absolute fact.
You're too much of your heart in play there, but let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on.
And what we're moving on to.
Oh, Deshaun Watson to Miami. That's the other thing I wanted to say. But yeah, let's move on.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard that one. All right. So, it's Super Bowl week. And I don't think I've been this excited for a Super Bowl matchup in a long time because it is so up in the air, which one of these teams is going to win. I mean, the LA Rams and the Cincinnati Bengals, again, as I mentioned to you a few days ago, if you had told us week one that the Super Bowl matchup would be the Bengals and the Rams, we would have laughed. And then we would have said, well, of course, in that matchup, the Rams take it all the way. It's not even going to be close. But now we're here. And we got to see, the road that led us here throughout the playoffs. And I think we're feeling a little different about the Bengals. And I know I am.
Well, yeah, you're definitely higher on the Bengals than I am, for sure.
I'm a huge Joe Burrow fan. I can't help it, dude. I mean, he's new favorite quarterback.
You're betting with your heart.
I am, but I'm not betting with my heart because I have not placed any bets. I leave that up to you.
I'm not betting the game until I am. But dude, this one terrifies me because I've bet against Joe Burrow every single game, including the Tennessee game where I said Joe Burrow is going to be on his ass the entire game. There's no way they can beat the Tennessee Titans in Tennessee. He got sacked a playoff record 9 times, and they still fucking won. So the guy can do anything, right? He's just not out of any game. When they were down 21-3 to the Chiefs, it was like, oh, here they are. Here are those Bengals we were waiting to show up. And you can pat them on the back and say, hey, good run, little buddy. I'm proud of you. You made it a lot further than people thought you'd make it. And they just had an amazing comeback. Now, a lot of that was because Patrick Mahomes just fucking lost his arm, but it's so hard for me to bet against them. So I'm procrastinating this bet tremendously. Like, I haven't put anything in yet, but I did want to talk more about it with you because one of my favorite things for the Pro Bowl. Do not bet money on the Pro Bowl.
Let's forget about the Pro Bowl.
Especially never bet the under. Even if the under is 97 points, do not bet the under. All right. So some prop bets. I wrote down some prop bets that I want to go through with you.
Oh, okay. Let's hit the prop bets. Let's do it.
I'm going to write down what you think and what I think, so we can review after the Super Bowl and see who hit the most of these. Now, the first part of the list is all just like random shit, right?
Oh, and yet
the random shit you can bet on, which is super fun because you just keep a running list and you go.
We will be treated to Forgot About Dre if that's what you're asking. Of course, that will happen. I am looking forward to that halftime show. Not gonna lie.
That they're not even taking bets on that because that's a guarantee. All right, so the first one, and I tried to go in order of what's going to happen throughout the game, right? So,
okay.
And I left out the national anthem length. That's stupid. I hate that one. National anthem. Who will be shown first during the national anthem? Matt Stafford or Joe Burrow?
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Who will be shown first? I like that.
Yeah, so the anthem's playing, the camera pans across the team. You know how they do it.
Okay. Well, gotta go with my boy, Joe Burrow.
Are you really?
Yeah.
All right.
Are you putting these in now?
I mean, I'm writing down who we think is...
Oh, okay. I thought you were like filling one out for Brash. I'm like, all right, let's do it. I'll chip in.
Oh, I mean, so... in reality, I'm gonna have to bet all these, so I can keep track of them.
Gotcha. All right. So, are you picking the opposite or something? You say you're going with Stafford just for fun? I mean, again, it's a coin flip. I mean,
it's a coin flip. Now, Joe Burrow does have better odds, so if you put down $100, you'd get paid more than putting it down on Matt Stafford.
Where the hell did you come out with those odds? How can you have odds on that?
They probably looked at all the home teams in the past and how often they go to the home team quarterback versus the road quarterback. I don't know.
Okay.
So it's minus 120 for Matt Stafford, minus 110 for Joe Burrow. So it's basically a coin flip. Now, this one, not as much of a coin flip. Coin toss, result of coin toss for Super Bowl 56. Heads or tails?
You know what? I'd go heads with this one.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Because you think with your head, not your tail.
Because you bet with your head. Who was that? Santana Moss?
I can't remember. I think that line's been used a few times. In all honesty.
Oh, the first time I heard it was Santana Moss, and he goes, "Yeah, baby, bet heads because you bet with your head."
Yeah,
and I was like,
he is a badass.
Yeah, Santana Moss, of course.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So.
That's almost as good as Matt Hasselbeck's. We want the ball. We're going to score.
Oh, he'll never live that down.
That silly son of a bitch.
Poor Matt Hasselbeck. Whatever happened to that guy? All right, so we got through the national anthem. We got the coin toss. Time to move on to the halftime show.
Oh, wait. Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry, you're going in order. My bad. Halftime show.
Halftime show. Snoop Dogg to smoke on stage. Yes or no?
Ooh. If this were Snoop Dogg of 20 years ago, I'd say resounding yes. But this is old Snoop Dogg we're talking about. And
he still smokes a pound a day.
Oh, I'm not saying he doesn't smoke. I'm just saying, at the Super Bowl halftime show, I mean, the guy's probably a granddad. So I'm going to say he does not smoke on stage.
He is almost certainly a granddad. I'm with you. I don't think he will either, but it's enticing because it's legal and it's a thing. It could always be fake shit, but I think you're right. I think he has kind of outgrown it a little bit.
Oh, no. I think he's going to smoke before and after the halftime show, but the question was he going to smoke on stage?
Is he going to be high as hell for the halftime show?
Oh, is he going to be high? Guaranteed, all my eggs in that basket.
If you bet yes, it's minus 1 million. Halftime show. Will any part of Eminem's performance be censored?
I mean, is there typically a long delay? Is that something they do? I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, they delay it. I think they have to. They have to delay it at least by 30 seconds.
No. If you know, no. If he drops some foul language, then he drops some foul language, and they're gonna let it go. I mean, I don't think any of it's gonna be censored. How are you feeling on that?
Oh, so you think he will swear?
You said will it be censored? You said
yes,
will it be censored? That was the question. So they would only censor it if he, if something slips, or he does it on purpose because he doesn't give a shit. So yeah, I mean, I think they know what they're getting, and with Eminem, they know what they're getting. So yeah, if he slips and something comes out, then it's not going to be censored. No.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
So that's impressive. All right. Well, I'm going yes. We disagree on that one.
Okay.
I think for sure he gets censored. And I think it'll be purposeful. And I think they're going to know when it's coming and they're going to have the fucking button ready. They're like, oh, he's about to say a bad word.
Oh, man. I can't wait to pay close attention to that.
Oh, you better. I'll print all these out or I'll email them to you. And we'll definitely be looking after him. Like I said, I'm gonna have to bet all these just so I can
Eminem
track
expose a nipple is the next one.
I like this one.
That's the one I'm looking at right now.
Will Justin Timberlake rip his shirt off? All right, this one I liked. What will happen to the price of Bitcoin during the Super Bowl? Will it go up or go down?
Oh God, it's stupid.
I thought this was cool.
I know nothing about Bitcoin. Not even
really?
Not even a little bit. So I'm gonna say
not even a bit.
Not even a titty bit. So I'm gonna say down because I hope it plummets to the ground. I'm with my heart on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go with down also just because it's better odds, and I have no idea why it would be that influenced, but Vegas knows something because they have going up at minus 160 and going down at plus 120. So I think it's probably going to go up just based on that, but I like the odds on going down. Like, fucking, who measures that? And like, at what point? I just saw it, I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I have no valuable input when it comes to Bitcoin, unfortunately.
All right. And then the classic, what color liquid? They can't say Gatorade. What color liquid will be poured on the winning coach of Super Bowl 56? We got orange at plus 200, red at plus 250, lime green at plus 300, clear at plus 700, blue at plus 600, purple at plus 850.
Well, I mean, this kind of ties into our Super Bowl predictions in terms of winner and loser. So I have to believe if you're picking the Rams, you're picking blue. If you're picking my boy Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals, you're going orange. So, spoiler alert, I'm going orange. And
really? Wow.
Yes, I am.
Son of a bitch. So, I'm going to go, I know this is way out of bounds here. I'm going purple. Going purple because it's the best odds, and I got to imagine there is somebody who can rig this on the sidelines.
Of course, there's somebody
that can go, hey, it's going to be purple. That gets the best odds plus 850. Someone's going to figure out how to make that purple, how to get it in the right hands, and get that shit dumped. So that, because if they're going to rig it, don't go for the plus 200 orange. Go for the plus 850 and make a fucking killing, right? So, give me purple. I like purple. That's my logic. If I didn't go purple, I'd probably go blue or yellow because spoiler. Also, blue Gatorade is the best Gatorade. So,
see, that's funny. I like yellow and orange Gatorade. Those are my two favorites.
I like yellow, but orange.
I mean, blue's okay, but
not like dark blue, like the light blue, the glacier blue. That blue.
All right.
That's the one. I got you. That shit hit different, dog.
Well, I'm more of a Powerade guy myself anyway, so
Gatorade
can go.
Don't you dare. Don't be a Powerade guy.
Oh yeah, white cherry all the way.
Oh,
That's what they used to call me. That's what they called me in high school. White cherry.
Dude, all the girls are trying to pop that white cherry of yours.
Oh man. Good times. Good times.
All right. Last wacky prop, and then we'll get serious here.
All right.
Who will the Super Bowl MVP mention first in his speech? His teammates, God or Jesus, the city, the coach, the owner, family, or none of the above. And the odds get progressively better down the list.
Oh, right when you asked, I didn't even have to hear the options. They're gonna say mom and dad, family all the way. And,
wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I mean, you obviously have a strong, different opinion. I
think it's teammates. I mean, they're surrounded by their teammates. Like, it's just going to be the first person they see when they're being interviewed. It's just a shit ton of their teammates. So I think it's just the first thing that's going to be on their brain. So you took the long shot for that one. That one is plus 550. So you took the long shot for the MVP mention. I took the long shot for the Gatorade color to even it out.
Nice.
And then all right, now we'll just kind of rapid fire. Give me your gut feeling. We're doing over unders, okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to say the name of the player, what the category is, and then a number, and then you just tell me over under. So Burrow passing yards 280.5.
I'll go over.
Yeah, I fucking figured you would.
I know. I'm sorry. I mean, I don't think they're going to be running the ball much.
Okay, Stafford passing yards 282.5.
I'm going to go over for him too. I know.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
I'm seeing a very exciting game coming up.
Yeah. So for the Burrow passing yards, the odds are even. For Stafford passing yards, over is slightly worse odds because Vegas knows that he's going to go over. Burrow passing touchdowns, 2.5. So this one I should mention, for 2.5 touchdowns, the over is plus 160, the under is minus 215. So 2.5 touchdowns for Joe Burrow.
2.5
passing
touchdowns. Only. You know what? Yeah, I'm going to go under on that one. Vegas knows something.
They know. They know everything.
Bastards.
That crystal ball they
have. Oh, yeah.
All right, so same number, but Matt Stafford, 2.5 touchdowns.
Yeah, it's his first Super Bowl, maybe his only one. I'm going to go over for Stafford.
Wow. Okay.
He gets 3. He gets 3.
I'm going to go under for Stafford.
I
think they both. Well, I think they lead him down there, and then I think there's some wacky touchdowns. Like, I like prop bets with defense, special teams. No. Like, I think we see a pick six or a fumble recovery touchdown or a kickoff or something like that.
I hear it's going to be a wacky. I hear you, Pipple Gatorade. I hear you over there.
The Bengals are in the Super Bowl, dude. Weird shit's going to happen.
Oh, yeah. No, you got that right.
All right.
Man, can't wait.
Our boy Jamar Chase receiving yards, 88.5.
Is that a joke?
No.
Under over 88.5?
Yes.
Over.
Yeah, I'm with you. And that's better odds, too.
Jamar fucking Chase we're talking about.
All right. We got T. Higgins over 71.5.
Under.
Okay. I like the over for him. I'm torn on Jamar. I think Jamar will be super close, but I think T. Higgins comes out and has a monster game because all the attention is going to be on Jamar Chase.
Yeah, that's a good point.
All right, Cooper Kupp receiving yards over under 107.5. That's a great number, by the way.
Ooh, they're so Vegas knows. I'm going to go under.
Vegas knows. Under?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same. OBJ receiving yards 67 and a half.
I'll go over.
Okay.
Like maybe he gets to 70.
Yeah, I think he's under that piece of shit. Joe All right, Joe Mixon rushing yards 65 and a half.
Oh shit. Oof. 65 and a half. Damn, they're good. I'm gonna go under. I'm going under.
Yeah. And Cam Akers rushing yards 64 and a half.
I'll go over.
Yeah. I like it. Those I could fucking flip a coin though. Like those are so close. Yeah. I have no idea. All right. That's all of them, dude. Right. So now getting into what everybody is waiting to hear. We need predictions. I want to know how you think this game is going to go cuz dude, you have a lot of unders for your Bengals, but you think they're going to pull it out.
Yeah, because
how do you see this game playing off?
Here's how I think it's going to play out. I think the first half is going to be one of the most exciting first halves that we've seen in a Super Bowl. Really? And the second half might be a little flat. I think the Bengals defense will be surprisingly productive. And everybody's talking shit about the Bengals offensive line and how Burrow's going to be running for his life. And I think the Bengals offensive line is going to be surprisingly productive.
Really? Okay.
Yes. So I'm saying exciting first half, second half. The lead changes 3-4 times, but the Bengals win it. And I'm going to say that they win it with a final touchdown, giving the Rams only like a minute and some change to try to go down the field, make it extra exciting. But Matt Stafford falls short in his first and maybe only Super Bowl.
Wow.
And the new king is crowned in Joe Burrow.
The new king is crowned. Wow. Okay. So what's your final score?
Final score. All right. You told me the under-over is 48.5. Vegas always seems to know. So, let's see. You know what, man?
Don't even think about that. Just give me your gut. I want that gut.
I'm feeling like gut. I know. The gut says like 24-27 type game. That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I mean that's only 1.5 or 2.5 points off of Vegas is over and under. Like
no, I know.
So Bengals 27-24.
Yep.
Okay. I wholeheartedly disagree.
Okay.
I've been dreading this moment. I've been getting
the impression you've been disagreeing with me leading up to this. So.
Well, it was more or less. I knew you were high on the Bengals, so it was like I was expecting you to have just overs on every single Bengal. So when you went under for Mixon and under for Higgins, it was surprising. I think they're going to need Mixon and Higgins. Like, I don't think they can just rely on Jamar Chase to bail him out. Jalen Ramsey's too good. He's going to be all over him. They're probably going to double him a lot. I think if you look at every position on the field or every unit on the field, the Rams are just better in every single unit. They just are.
No, I hear you.
Stafford and Burrow are probably about even. That's the only difference. Stafford has more experience. Joe's got more moxie. Dude, Aaron Donald is going to be such a problem. He's going to be such a problem. And I think 2 weeks for Sean McVay to prepare. He's going to put out a great game plan. I actually tend to think the opposite of what you think for the first half and second half. I think the Rams go up big. I think could be a 21-3 type situation, just like the Chiefs had them. But I think the Rams close it out. Now the Bengals are gonna make it interesting because they hang around, dude. Joe Burrow, he doesn't fucking quit, dude. He's gonna have a cigar in the locker room at halftime, and he's gonna just get it lit. He's gonna set it down, and he'll be like, "I'll see you later," right? And he's gonna come out of the locker room ready to fuck him up. So I could see it going like 21-3, and then after halftime it being like 17-21, and everyone's like, "Oh shit, here come the Bengals," right? But eventually I think the Rams shut him down. I like a 31-20 as my final.
Ooh, all right. And I guess we can both agree that the MVP will either be Burrow or Stafford, depending on who wins the game, right?
Yeah, I thought about throwing that in as one of the props.
I mean,
but it's
come on, let's be honest. It's going to be one of those two guys.
It's going to be one of those two.
Yeah.
I mean, pending some sort of, if Von Miller has 2 strip sacks where he returns them, and Matt Stafford has a terrible game, then okay, it might be Von Miller or something weird like that. I think Cooper Kupp is the next highest chance in terms of like what the odds are. Cooper Kupp, I think, is 3rd, and then maybe Aaron Donald 4th for the MVP votes. I'd have to look it up, but it's definitely Joe Burrow, Matt Stafford 1 and 2 in terms of if you're going to bet on who the MVP is. Yeah, it's going to be one of those two.
It's going to be one of those two guys.
If Eli Manning can go 2 for 2, one of these guys is going to go 1 for 1.
That'll definitely make it more exciting. I'll be thinking of you. Well, the Bengals are surprising people because I got a good feeling. We are in the year of the Tiger, Josh.
Here's the thing, though.
It's time for the Tigers.
Dude, I know. We joked about it like a month ago where it was like, oh, you're the Tiger. If the Bengals go to the Super Bowl, can't bet against them. Dude, I have lost so much money on the goddamn Bengals this year.
And you're about to lose some more.
If they get me again, like,
Damn
I can't even be mad. I can't even get mad. Dude, we'll see. We'll see.
All right. Well, I think that just about settles it for Super Bowl week edition of our Brash Sports podcast.
Inaugural podcast.
I know, man.
We fucking did it, bro.
We did it, my friend. And thanks, dude. I'd also like to give, of course, a special thanks to our producer Anderson. And
hold up.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You gotta. I'm happy. I'm happy he made his way over there to give you props also. But and so you could give him props as well. And a special thanks, of course, to Sheena Easton.
Sheena Easton, bag fries.
Bag fries.
Bill Belichick. We'll talk to you next week.
Bill Belichick, please, try to make it happen next week, man. Don't bail on us. Thanks, Josh. Appreciate it, dude. All right, yes, good. Go Bengals. All right.